Good evening. I'm the Maven of the Eventide, and welcome back to Vampire the Masquerade, Coteries of New York. Why are you snickering at me?
You said welcome.
Yeah, I said welcome.
Unironically.
It's what we do here.
Okay.
We welcome our viewers to our vampires.
You say welcome your viewers?
Welcome my viewers.
Viewers.
With me tonight, surprise, is Paul.
Yes, I'm here every week. You should, guys. You know, it's just a given. You're stuck with me. I'm sorry.
Last we left, we had started forming our coterie. We went and saw Nosferatu, and then we were going to go see another coterie person, but we got a mysterious message about going to a church, and we learned that faith in anything is enough to hurt a vampire. Faith in God, faith in whatever.
So vampires are fatal nihilists. Okay, well, I'm glad I just destroyed the conversation. Let's start. Let's do this. I'm off to a rip-roaring beginning.
So Gwen has now had that interesting encounter, and we haven't gone and asked Sophie about it, which is surprising to me because she's supposed to be the one that answer everything for us, but whatever.
Now, who was the new guy up in the heights again?
This is the Tremere.
Right.
And this is the Malkavian.
Right.
This is the Nosferatu we went to already, and this is the Gangrel that we said we wanted to go to next.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Jezebel's Childer. Sophie mentioned a Gangrel neonate by the name of Tamika, who's made herself a haven in Prospect Park. The Ferals aren't exactly a social bunch, even by kindred standards, but if you can keep her from clawing your eyes out just long enough, she might be persuaded to join you.
Now,
sexy.
My memory is terrible. Why do we need people to join us again? Why are we forming this coterie for ourselves?
Because the premise of the game is Coteries of New York.
Well, yes, but in game lore, I forget why.
As a new vampire, I'm better off having friends.
Okay.
So you want to form a little social group, or maybe in RP terms, if you were role-playing, you need your little role-playing group, right?
Okay.
It's like your, what's the D&D word?
I think group was fine.
No! The word...
Coterie.
No! In D&D, your campaign...
Plan?
No, the people who are with you on your campaign.
It's just group. I don't know.
There's a word.
Is there? Dungeoners.
We're gonna get so many comments telling us what this word is.
I bet.
Anyway, Prospect Park, sexy. Look at those trees. Trees do grow in Brooklyn.
I get it.
You make your way through the Grand Army Plaza, passing the Soldiers and Sailors Memorial Arch. You can't help but feel a tinge of nostalgia as you picture the place as you've seen it countless times, in broad daylight, teeming with life. Wow, I spent a lot of time in Prospect Park as a corporate shark lady? I mean, as a person who lived
okay, wait,
in Manhattan,
I didn't realize you were talking about in-universe you and not you.
As Mimi.
Since when were you
someone
a corporate
who lived
shill?
in New York City for 15 years, I never went to Prospect Park.
Never?
It's not like a place you go.
I mean, if you live in Brooklyn, it is.
But my character sure didn't.
I don't know. There's stuff in Brooklyn. I keep getting very distracted by the moonbeams up there.
They're good moonbeams.
Yeah, but they just keep like going back and forth. Like the moon can't make up its mind which way it wants to go.
It's a strobe moon.
Nice disco ball.
You quickly get over it and pass through the northwest gate into Prospect Park. The park is its usual maze of unkempt foliage and dimly lit alleys. Silence hangs in the air, as it would at this time of night, and there doesn't appear to be any sign of kindred presence. You start to suspect Langley's sources fed her a bunch of bullshit, but you're not willing to give up just yet. As you ponder your options, you hear footsteps coming from behind a line of trees. Quick, but evenly paced. Most likely a late-night jogger.
Of course, in this vampire lore game.
No vampire would take kindly to you feeding in their domain, but then again, perhaps you could kill two birds with one stone. Ooh, am I tempted by this jogger? See, the problem with being a Ventrue is that some blood makes me puke. And I don't know what I'm going to react badly to, because I don't know what my,
this person's social background.
I don't know what my thing is that makes some blood okay and some not. Like, there's a certain thing about every person, like hair color, eye color, personality trait, something.
Okay.
Sounds very racist to me. But that, remember when I killed the guy, or not killed, but drank the dog walker outside of what's his name's apartment to get his attention?
Sure.
That was
yes.
very
How could I
foolish
forget?
because I had forgotten that I could have reacted badly to that blood as a Ventru. And
But
picked it
it
up.
would have, it would have definitely made the distraction that you were seeking to make
I mean, true.
by puking all over a stoop.
But considering I'm gonna eat this dog walker or this jogger,
Well, we don't know if it is a jogger or not.
Walk around the park, seek out the Gangrel Haven, feeding opportunity, midnight jogger.
Well, don't we? I think we're pretty full up on
Yeah,
juice,
I
aren't
don't
we?
think I'm hungry. Maybe this is just in case I didn't eat that other guy.
And besides, we don't. If they're gangrels, then I'm sure they're very territorial about their prey. So it's probably better that we don't do this in their domain. Speaking as a gangrel.
I'm gonna look for the Gangrels. You head south, delving deeper into the less frequented section of the park. Passing a babbling stream, you make your way into the ravine.
About the term babbling stream always makes me giggle uneasily.
Home to some of the oldest trees in the park, it's the place to go when you want to get away from the crowd and enjoy some one-on-one time with nature. And that's during the day. I mean, sounds like you're fucking the trees to me.
Yeah, it sure did. It sure did.
At night, it's bound to be a gangrel's delight.
Dun, 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 dun.
Making your way through the brush,
Gangrel's delight.
you come across a rocky crevice hidden behind a wobbly chain-link fence. You leap over the fence in a single bound, trying to land as quietly as kindredly possible.
Critical fail.
The crevice looks deep enough for you to think twice about jumping in. Instead, you peer into the darkness below, listening intently. In a split second, the air by the side of your head swirls like a vortex.
Sound effects.
Driven by sheer instinct, you lean back just as 5 finger-shaped razors cut through the darkness, missing your face by an inch. A clawed shadow jumps back a few paces, preparing to correct its mistake. You catch a glimpse of the assailant. Looks pretty animalistic, all right, but he's not the one you're looking for. For starters, it's a he. Just as he's about to lunge at you, a snarl resounds from the bushes nearby, stopping your foe in their tracks. Why not in his tracks? I established it was a he.
That's gender-neutral pronouns.
Out of the shadows emerges a young woman, baring her teeth ever so slightly. She walks over, calmly, and her eyes fixed on your assailant. Baring her teeth ever so slightly. Yeah, we usually call that a smile.
Yeah. That's called breathing.
Her presence is enough to make him reconsider attacking you, but not to withdraw completely. He glances over to her, puffing up his chest.
Stay out of it, Tam. I smelled it first.
Tam, how about that? She raises an eyebrow but remains silent. Her compatriot turns back towards you.
You should have come here, girlie. I want to fuck you up so bad, you'll be wearing your tongue as a fucking necktie.
Those tattoos, so tribal. Tamika looks at you expectantly. She's like, yeah, what are you gonna do about that? Ooh, should I try my vampire powers?
No, I think...
No, remember they say my vampire powers work.
Yeah, but I mean, you're up against the gangrels, who they're all about animalistic fighting and stuff. So
That
you wanna...
doesn't mean I'm not more powerful than they are.
Yeah, so stare him down. See, because he's not going to do anything in front of his boss, I bet.
I'm gonna dominate him.
All right.
Your eyes find his, and your words become imperatives, grasping your victim's mind like a vice. Yeah, they do. You're getting ahead of yourself, little doggy. Go on now. Get. Noticing what's happening, Tamika looks at you with anger and disbelief. Uh-oh, I pissed her off. Her friend staggers and shifts his weight, barely managing to stay on his feet. Fighting against the strain, he sinks his claws into the back of his head. A few drops of blood trickle from his nose. Why is he hurting himself? I didn't tell him to do that.
You Ventru bitch! I'll rip off your tits and feed them to you.
Wow. His name is Raoul.
He's classy. That's really rough talk for a guy with a man bun.
A fierce growl echoes across the alley, stopping the savage in his tracks. Tamika walks over to her comrade, her fangs glistening in the dim lamplight. Look at the shadow right here. Doesn't it look like a wolf? This one right here. Like, legs, and his head is...
Oh, okay, yeah, it's okay. Sorry, I see the legs, but the head just kind of disappears into a blurb.
She puts her hand on the side of his head, caressing his hair and tugging his ear, as if she was scolding a puppy. She leans over and speaks in a voice that's firm, yet oddly affectionate. It's okay, Raoul. I'll handle it from here. The male gangrel looks at her with a mix of timidity and resentment, then he turns back toward you.
So that's how it's gonna be, huh?
He yanks his head back and aims a gob of bloody spittle straight at your feet. Well, at least it's at my feet.
Get fucked, both of you.
Having said his piece, Raoul retreats into the shadows, although if you were to guess, he's likely to stay within earshot. With her companion gone, Tamika turns to you once more. What do you want? I don't think after I made her mad saying I could use your help will go over well, so I'll go with... straight to the point, huh? I like that. I don't care what you like. Now quit stalling. You have something to say it.
I think either of these are gonna go over well.
Fair enough. Look, I'm new to this whole vampire thing. I figured it wouldn't hurt to make some friends. People I could count on, and they could count on me. So, you want to help me with something. Because you want to be my friend. That about right? Well, it sounded better the way I said it, but yeah, that's the gist of it. Uh-huh. She puts on a veneer of skepticism, but you can tell she's intrigued. That's very earnest of you. It's also kind of silly, but I think I'm okay with it. What I'm not okay with is putting my ass on the line and getting stabbed in the back for my trouble. So why exactly should I trust anything you say? Huh. I don't know what Jezebel's like, though.
Yeah.
Like, I feel this would be very bluffy.
I mean, you're a venture, so it's usually throwing money around, so I assume in canon it would be like, I'll make it worth your while.
But do I have any money?
I don't know.
Like, returning the favor, I guess?
This is your Gwen the venture.
I mean, I'm just gonna be honest. I don't expect you to. Not yet, anyway. Good. Because my trust is earned, not given. Then let me earn it. A few nights of your time, that's all I ask. For a brief moment, she stands there motionless, looking straight into your eyes as if trying to size you up. Finally, she looks away. It looks like she's come to a decision.
Get bent.
Just so that we're clear, I don't trust you. I have no reason to. Frankly, you sound more lost than I am. Still, there's something about you. You look like you should reek of bullshit, but somehow you don't. So I'll give you a chance to prove yourself. I have some outstanding business to take care of. I'll let you know once that's done. Meet me here, and we'll see what you're really made of. And with that, Tamika disappears into the night. That went pretty well, all things considered, especially since I, pissed off her friend and she gave me a dirty look and then never mentioned it again.
Yeah, but that'll probably come up in the epilogue, just like the other guy did. It's like, well, you did this, that was good. Well, you did this, that was bad.
Well, that was easy. Oh, looks like I got a rest.
Yep.
Huh. I didn't even have to, do anything with her. With the Nosferatu, we went on a whole mission together. She's just like, yeah, come back later.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's, it's gonna escalate.
Not long after you wake up tonight, Gregory knocks on the door of your apartment.
I forget who Gregory is.
He's the chauffeur.
Oh, did I give him a voice?
Kinda.
I don't remember what it is.
I mean, he's a nice guy.
Hey, I came to pick you up. Miss Langley wants to see you.
Any idea what she needs me for?
I'm not in the position to ask.
He smiles politely.
The car's waiting. Shall we?
You wrestle with the same thoughts as a few nights ago. Maybe you should just leave. Disappear. Let Sophie find somebody else to employ. But then you remember the anarch thug being cut down by Kadir and how close you were to the same fate not even a week ago. And that it might still happen if you step out of line. You follow suit. Because he's wearing a suit.
He's right, yeah,
and that's why I follow suit.
Got it.
Yeah. As with your previous visit here, Sophie seems not entirely present when you enter. Her eyes are locked onto one of the paintings in the room. Is it this one with like the full frontal nudity? What do you think? I think it's this one.
It does draw the eye.
Yes. You're pretty sure it was here earlier, but she's behaving as if she's seeing it for the first time in her life, entirely entranced. That's a Toreador trait. They just get like sucked into art and like lose their mind for a minute.
Nerds.
Gregory clears his throat. Sophie turns to the both of you, a bit of irritation in her countenance that soon gives way to a pleasant, warm smile. You're here. Excellent. Thank you, Gregory.
No problem, boss.
Her driver leaves and she turns her attention to you. I hope you had a good few nights and made some new acquaintances, but I have to say, I'm happy to see you, Gwen. Thank you for coming. The change in mood of the room is so sudden and startling, it makes you consider the true power of vampiric charisma. Rationally, you know you're being manipulated, but you don't even care. Her eyes, her motions, her entire body language all feel 100% genuine in expressing legitimate interest in you and your well-being. I have a request for you this night. I need you to find somebody for me and make a delivery. I just keep thinking about why you said that every third word is in air quotes.
Notice a plain-looking flash drive lying on the edge.
This guy, I guess, the inanimate archer.
Ah.
You notice a plain-looking flash drive lying on the edge of where the inanimate archer's bow touches the pedestal. The man you'll be looking for calls himself Kaiser. He has eyes and ears all over New York, and it's rare for something to happen here without his knowledge. I'll need you to take this flash drive and bring it to him. In exchange, he will give you an address, which I need to know as soon as possible.
Now you're just doing it on purpose.
I can't help thinking about it.
I just want to like take a picture of this scene and then just like Photoshop in quote marks around like what, about 6-7 words?
You put it in my head and now I can't stop.
It's my Gwen True Powers.
You're about to ask what's on the drive, but Sophie proves to be one step ahead of you.
You were way too nosy, Gwen.
Oh, don't worry about the contents. Gonna hit you. They are encrypted. A precaution for if the data falls into the wrong hands, but it won't, correct? She gives you a smile that just a handful of nights ago would make you feel like melting. In a good way?
Yes, of course.
And why doesn't it still? Like, I was all seduced by her a minute ago.
Well, maybe now because like you're already like an old jaded, you know.
No, like just a minute ago I was seduced by her. Oh, and Gwen, Kaiser is a Nosferatu, that twisted, deformed lineage of kindred. He is old, and his age has made him even more paranoid than the others of his clan tend to be. He holds many havens and changes them often. From what I've gathered, he or one of his servants should be found at the park on Coney Island tonight. You'll have to identify them somehow. Maybe by the hideous deformity?
Could be.
I'm told Kaiser has spent many of his nights these past few years being driven around the city in a black limo. Maybe keep an eye out for it. That smile again, but much shorter. I mean, I know how to do a job. I can do a job.
Stick to business.
I was getting coffees from my boss for 5 years before I got promoted. Anything more you can tell me about Kaiser? He's been here a long time. About as long as I have. He got into a lot of trouble for exchanging information with both the Anarchs and the Camarilla in the past, but ultimately got off scot-free. Kaiser's web of information proved to be strong enough to shield him from the consequences of playing both sides. Some say that's the best proof of his abilities. In any case, be careful when talking to him. He's very particular about everyone's etiquette.
You keep crossing
except
over into
his
Mae
own.
West every once in a while.
Good night, and good luck. Hey,
Come up and sing
maybe
me some
Sophie
song.
was like an old-timey saloon girl.
Yeah, exactly. Mae West.
She flashes one last smile at you and turns back to the painting, clearly done with the conversation. You pocket the flash drive and head out toward Coney Island. It takes you the better part of an hour to reach the lights and sounds of the Coney Island amusement park from the city. The drive is almost pleasant this time of night. Thank God for Belt Parkway. We usually call it the Belt Parkway, but, you know.
Oh, God, the screaming.
There are plenty of people here tonight, but nobody who stands out as a traveling purveyor of secrets. Then again, if they did stand out,
You
it would
never
be
find
kind of
anybody
pointless,
suspicious
right?
like that in a carnival. An old creepy carnival at night? Nope. Norms.
Coney Island.
Oh, miracle of miracles.
Nothing to do but figure out the right approach.
Thanks for making me think of that song for the first time in 6 years.
There are plenty of nooks and crannies to investigate around here, but if Kaiser frequents this area, there has to be some kind of clue to grab onto, right? Maybe in this graffiti? You spend a good hour snooping around, eyes peeled for the black limo Sophie mentioned, or any sign that a Nosferatu or any vampire has their haven around these parts. Zilch. Annoyed, you turn back toward the lights of the amusement park, only to find a man standing in your way. Wearing an oversized jacket, he had the air of a junkie or a dealer about him. Why is it suddenly in past tense, not present tense anymore?
You killed him.
Who knows what he's got in those pockets? Fake Oakleys?
You lost?
Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. What's it to you?
What kind of answer is that? You spook? A fed?
He looks at you intently, like he's trying to guess your real purpose here.
Get out of here before I kick your ass.
Can I tell if he's a vampire or not?
I mean, maybe he's wearing like some sort of mask. His skin looked kind of nasty. Can Nosferatus do that?
I don't know. This one sounds kind of scared. I don't want to pick a fight. This one sounds more authoritative, so I don't want my ass kicked. That's for
Alright.
sure.
I'm sure you just
I'm a
pull
tiny
your...
little woman, and he's a big scary guy. So
He's a scrawny little guy. You can Jedi mind trick him, I'm sure.
can I?
Yeah.
Didn't really work so well on that gangrel.
Especially if it's just if it's just a little puny human. That'll work really well.
Or he's a really old Nosferatu.
In which case he'll recognize the name Kaiser. It's like, oh, you're here for him. Okay.
Sure, man. Whatever you say. Just tell me if you know a guy named Kaiser, and I'll be on my way.
Nah, don't know who that is.
He's a terrible liar. Clearly full of shit. Huh. I'm just gonna tell him Sophie sent me.
Oh, you keep name dropping Sophie. She hates that.
I'm on a job for her. Listen, I was sent here by Sophie Langley. She has something for Kaiser. I need to contact him and hand it over. Nothing more to it.
Don't know her. And I told you already, I don't know who Kaiser is either.
He sees the doubt in your face.
Ah, fuck it. Stay right there.
Haha, you suck at lying. He produces his phone. It's a fancy model. Doesn't look like anything readily available on the market. Ooh, he's got like the iPhone 13. Unlocks it, dials a number. 2 tones go by, a voice on the other end.
Sorry to bother you again, boss. Yeah, I know how much you need your alone time. That sounds very nice. There's somebody who wants to see you. They're with Langley, Sophie Langley, yeah.
A string of loud obscenities fill the phone. The man winces and pushes it away from his ear, and then the call stops.
He'll see you now.
Almost immediately, a chime, the Count's laugh from Sesame Street, wow, announces a new message sent to the phone. You should do it.
He's on his way. Don't go anywhere.
Not 15 minutes pass before a black limo stops near where you're waiting. One door opens, an invitation. Oh no, I have to get in this creepy guy's car?
Oh, you'll
Can
be
I just
fine.
throw the flash drive in there?
You don't know if that's him or not.
The inside of the limo used to be a luxury lounge, the kind with a stripper pole and a bar full of alcohol, but it currently has none of that.
Wait, how tall is this limo? Or did they do it horizontally?
Instead, there are monitors and consoles. Oh, he's another Nosferatu hacker. There are dozens of displays, each one showing something different. Surveillance camera footage, stock market quotes, television news, emails, tweets, silent movies, lo-fi footage of a gory torture session. You wonder if the limo's owner can focus on anything while surrounded by all this visual noise. And then you realize there's nobody there. Or is there?
There's a camera on you. We know.
No, he's doing his obfuscate thing.
Oh, okay. I figured he would just be zooming with you or something.
A man blinks into existence.
You got me.
On a leather-covered couch, attempting to maintain something that approximates a regal presence. You're 100% sure it's Kaiser. Surrounded by dimly lit computer screens, his features are even more ghastly to you than imagined. All sharp angles of twisted bone, mangled flesh, and crooked teeth. We don't get a visual? I want to see that. He bears them in an awful parody of a smile. Oh, we really don't get to see him?
That's not a limo, it's an RV.
It's an RV limo. The doors close behind you. Oh, there he is! Hey! Look at him!
He looks classy. I like those photoshopped on glasses.
If he didn't have those pointy teeth, he'd be pretty cool looking.
Uh-huh.
Like the Phantom of the Opera. He's got the right hair.
He's got that sort of like Joker smile thing happening.
Yeah.
So, the waste of good blood outside tells me Sophie Langley sent you, huh? You've got something for me?
You reluctantly pull the flash drive from your pocket and slowly pass it to Kaiser. He plugs it into a USB port in the arm of his chair and displays the data on one of the screens that happen to be turned away from you. It takes him about a minute to access the data.
Who do you people think I am? I saw this footage a week ago.
He removes the flash drive and throws it back at you in disgust.
Tell Sophie the deal's off. She wants her address, she can give me something else.
I don't think I can
No.
But I can
He's
negotiate.
He's a businessman, yeah.
I'm sorry this proved disappointing to you, Mr. Kaiser. Can I do something to make it up to you? Send me on a side quest. He seems genuinely impressed.
No, that's what I like to hear. Yeah, in fact, I was just about to mention it. I have something in mind. We'll talk again soon. You do that for me, the address is yours. Now, would you be so kind as to get the fuck out of my car?
You're pretty sure you're done here. You get out, close the door behind you, and the car immediately starts backing up. The opaque windows slide past you, and soon the limo is on its way. Kaiser's lackey is nowhere to be seen, so you make your way back to your car and drive back, wondering what tomorrow brings. So do I want to go back and see her again, or do I want to go back and see this guy again?
Are we done with him? He's already on side, isn't he?
No. We got to go back and do a second touch with each of them.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, the night's half over, so we might as well just do a quick wrap-up with the other Nosferatu.
The gift that keeps on giving. It's been a while since you heard from D'Angelo. Maybe he's busy, sticking his nose where it doesn't belong, or maybe he's pissed off the wrong people and now it's rotting in a ditch somewhere. Either way, now is a good time as any to check up on him. You make your way through the now familiar rusty maze of the grain terminal and end up the stairs to D'Angelo's office. This time, however, you find the room firmly locked. There's a note pinned to the door. You rip it off and scan the crooked lettering. There's been another one at the scene now. Come to Bed-Stuy, corner of Pulaski and Garvey, ASAP.
It's like Torgo speak.
Looks like D'Angelo could use your help. Better get going.
The master wouldn't approve.
As you approach the address, D'Angelo gave you a squad car passes you by, sirens blaring. Following it, you make a turn from DeKalb Avenue onto Pulaski Street. Sure enough, the street is awash with red light, and the 4 or so police cars parked on the nearest corner next to an ambulance confirm that you're in the right place. You move closer to what appears to be New York's finest convention.
A water convention? Isn't that what they call the tap water?
No, that's what they call the cops.
Oh. I could have sworn that's what they called tap water. And it's like the guy would always come up to you too. It's like, do you want sparkling or do you want some of New York's finest or something like that? Don't you remember?
Like restaurants and stuff?
Yeah.
Back in the old days?
Yeah.
When we could go outside?
Mm-hmm. Oh, now I'm depressed.
Looking around in the hopes of spotting a familiar, if not altogether pleasant face. No such luck. True to his Nosferatu lineage, D'Angelo is nowhere to be seen. You stop on the sidewalk across the street, trying not to draw attention to yourself. All of a sudden, one of the cops standing by the entrance of the building looks straight at you. He does a double take, and you instinctively look away. Bad move, you think to yourself as you notice him making his way toward you.
Don't be suspicious.
Yeah, don't be suspicious.
Besides, if it's just a cop, he's just mind game him.
Yeah, exactly. He's a human. I can mind game him. Not allowing panic to set in, you stand your ground, doing your best ordinary citizen impression. Cop waddles across the street towards you. Oh, is he a penguin? His sense of authority putting that extra spring in his step. So is
Well, look at what we have here.
is he springing or is he waddling? Make up your mind. You try to remain calm, even as he puts his hand on his holster. Shit. You can't help but mouth the word. This is about to get messy. Why can't I just mind game him? I'm a vampire. I have superpowers. Suddenly, he stops, as if instinctively realizing that he was just inches away from a grisly demise. He waves at you dismissively and yells in a thick Brooklyn accent, "Oh, are you ready for this?"
Yay.
Hey, this here's an active crime scene. Be on your way.
Relieved, but trying not to show it, you put on your grumpy New Yorker face and start to walk away. As you make your way past a dark alleyway, someone grabs you by the arm and pulls you into the shadows. If the smell of cigars and cheap cologne don't give away, the gravelly voice sure does.
Nice save. I mean, dumb to show your face around here in the first place, but still. Come on. I'm parked around the corner.
Before you know it, you're sitting in the passenger seat of a busted old sedan parked half a block away, giving you a nice view of the police gathering.
Oh, God.
Let's eat all the police! Hey, how about you do your shadowy, skulky thingy? Maybe you can find some way to let me in from the inside.
Shadowy, skulky thingy? Jesus, kid. Childish phrasing aside, it's a good approach as any, I guess.
I'm being quirky. Thank you. Without another word, he gets back out of the car and heads for a nearby back alley. You watch in silence as he disappears into the shadows. A minute passes, then another one, and another. You begin to worry. What if there were more cops inside? What if your moldy partner has gotten himself into trouble? He's moldy? Suddenly, a shadowy silhouette appears in one of the windows on the second floor. Looks like he made it in after all. At least you hope it's him. The shadow waves at you and points at the corner of the building opposite the two cops. You get out of the car and quietly make your way towards the alley. Sure enough, you find that a fire escape ladder has been conveniently dropped for you. Good work, D, you mumble to yourself as you climb to the second floor.
Why are we here again?
He needs help on his job.
Oh.
What does this say? His gift or die?
His gift or fate. That's what I see.
Finding the crime scene proves easy enough. You just follow the yellow police tape, and before you know it, you're standing in the middle of what used to be someone's living room.
No, it's a dead room.
I like these dust motes. They're very sexy. The place has been completely trashed. Knocked over furniture, shattered glass, the works. Looking around, you notice a sign scribbled on a nearby wall. It reads, "His gift, our fate." You're no expert in typography, but the crooked letters look similar to the ones you saw back in Red Hook. Sure enough, there's very little in terms of blood, save for the occasional stain that's bound to end up on the carpet once you toss someone through a glass coffee table. D'Angelo leans against the doorway. He seems lost in his thoughts, sucking on his cigar, compulsively mumbling to himself.
Oh, he's doing that inner monologue thing I love so much.
You lean over a bit, trying not to make it obvious that you're listening in. You manage to catch the last few lines of his monologue.
Yes.
The night's been kind to them so far. But the questions kept piling on, and now they've found themselves amidst the wreckage of another life. It was up to them to sift through the debris and come up with a neat little pile of answers.
Suddenly, he tenses up, as if sensing your eyes upon him.
Feel free to chip in, kid. Anything catch your eye?
His gift, our fate.
Yep, there's that. What do you think it means?
Why would I think it's about Kane? I don't know anything about Kane.
Yeah, I was like, that.
Like, are we supposed to be metagaming
Did you
here?
take vampire studies in college?
Our fate. Am I the only one getting an apocalyptic vibe from this?
No, you're not. This is about the gift of Cain, as in vampirism, our fate.
Cain, noun.
A mythical figure considered to be the first and most powerful vampire. Some vampires refer to themselves as Cainites, members of the race of Cain. See, why would I have asked about Cain before this dictionary thing came up? Like,
Yeah, that does seem kind of
maybe there was
metagaming.
another track I could have taken where I would have learned about Cain.
Perhaps.
Clearly, someone wasn't too happy to receive it. God damn it. I hate where this is going.
Why? The thin blood angle seems to check out. Looks like you were right.
Yeah, well, this time I'd rather be wrong, all right?
It's not going to be thin bloods, is it?
Nope.
Nope, definitely not going to be thin bloods.
Anyway, looks like we're not getting any more out of this place. No way around it. We gotta see the body.
In for a penny, in for a pound. Might as well be prudent.
Nice alliteration, kid. My thoughts exactly. The Duskborn have it bad as it is. I'm not gonna accuse one of them for breaching the masquerade. I want solid evidence. I mean rock fucking solid. Luckily for us, I know someone who could get us an audience with our dearly departed.
You know a morgue person? To your surprise, he pulls out a cell phone. A busted old clamshell. He flips it open and spends a good minute browsing through the contacts, muttering to himself. Finally, he makes a call.
Hey, you know who this is. Yeah, that favor you owe me? It's time to deliver. Listen, I know you got a fresh one, the murder in Bed-Stuy. I need to take a look. Yes, now? Yeah, you better.
With that, he hangs up and gives you his trademark wry smile. That's a great smile. Why would cell phones be forbidden?
Yeah, I would skip that part. Don't make him feel bad.
What the heck? Why would I even think cell phones were forbidden?
The other guy was using his cell phone.
Yeah, don't...
He might have just been a ghoul or something. I don't know why cell phones would be forbidden.
What? I kind of want to click it just to find out what the hell this
you're gonna
lore
make him feel
is.
bad. You're gonna embarrass the guy.
So, are we good?
Not gonna mention the cell phone, huh? Yeah, we're good. Next up, Kings County.
Is this one of those game lore things? It's like, everything would be so much easier if Gwen just had a cell phone and she could just call these people, but she has to do
No,
legwork.
look, it's in lore, see? Can't have a cell phone. It's masquerade somehow.
Kings County, the bleeding heart of Brooklyn.
Do they really call it that?
It's beating as hard as ever, with ambulance after ambulance bringing in sick and wounded New Yorkers to be pumped through the tight arteries of the healthcare system. It's a dangerous place for a kindred to show their face, incessantly crowded and full of people who specialize in noticing all sorts of physical afflictions, especially the sort that make up the very essence of a vampire's existence. For instance, death. Thankfully, your business here tonight keeps you away from the hectic human hive of the ER. Instead, you follow D'Angelo to a relatively quiet part of the underground parking lot that's closest to your current point of interest, the Kings County Morgue. Having found yourself a convenient and suitably unlit spot near the hospital wall, you wait patiently for D'Angelo's contact to appear. Every now and then you glance over at the undead gumshoe as if to make sure his moldy mug isn't showing any signs of worry. It isn't, or at least he's very good at hiding it. Finally, after 30 minutes or so, a lone figure emerges from the side entrance. As the human-shaped shadow walks by, you're quick to recognize him as the EMT you saw back at the murder site. What EMT?
Which EMT? There was a couple of them. I don't think we met one, though. We met a cop who was mean to us.
Maybe if I had, gone up to it, I would have seen the EMT. Is this another writing error?
Maybe.
It didn't say I noticed any EMTs at all.
I don't know. Well, let's see where this is going.
It's not the cop who almost pulled his gun on me, is it? Clearly nervous, the 20-something-year-old redhead can't seem to help but look back and make sure no one is following him. How come there's no women that, work these jobs? Finally, he stops and lights up a cigarette. Without even looking in your direction, he takes a puff and exclaims, seemingly to no one in particular, "Room 112, you got 20 minutes." D'Angelo speaks without looking at you.
That's our cue.
You follow the fanged detective through the same door the EMT walked out. Luckily, this wing of the hospital seems unusually empty. Still, the confidence with which D'Angelo makes his way through the white and green corridors makes it clear he's been here before. Finally, he stops in front of one of the doors. Room 112. That's your stop. The room is small, with only one oversized freezer by the wall and a single slab mounted in its center. Sure enough, the body of a middle-aged man is splayed out on the steel surface. Even for a dead man, he seems unnaturally pale. Extreme blood loss will do that to you. Try as you might, you can't help but look at the man's face, his features twisted in abject horror. This was not a peaceful death. Looking closely, you notice 2 small puncture wounds on the victim's neck. If ever there was a clearer sign of a vampire attack, you've yet to see it. Looking over at D'Angelo, you notice his lips moving in a familiar fashion. He's narrating again. Before he can utter an intelligible word, you cut in with a remark. Those marks on his neck, is that what I think it is? Did he get stabbed with a barbecue fork?
Yep. Good eye, kid. It's official. Our killer is a kindred. Look at his face, though. Sheer terror. He was fully aware all the way through. Killing aside, no kindred worth their salt will allow that to happen.
It must have been someone ugly like you.
Maybe it's kind of like the plot that we came up with, the fork story, where it's in order to frame a vampire for doing it, they stabbed him with that little 2-tined fork.
You just spoilered the entire plot of my novel.
Well, hey, guys, inside, if this book ever gets published and /written, you'll have... Now we gotta add some twists.
I gotta finish writing my other book first before I can write the...
It was the butler! What? Could have been. With the fork. In the conservatory. I'll shut up now.
It's your line.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were just giving me dirty looks. I'm so used to it.
Unless they didn't know better, this confirms it. We're looking for a thin blood.
Because a regular kindred never would make a person afraid.
Well, yeah, they're not that sloppy. That's what he's saying. Fuck.
As if on cue, the door swings open. A tired-looking man with a stethoscope around his neck walks in. With his eyes fixed on his clipboard, he doesn't appear to notice you. Yet. Am I hungry?
I mean, evidently. I mean, he's in here by himself. You're in a morgue. You had a place to hide it. He might tattle on you.
Sure, why not? I haven't done anything vampire-y in a while. Letting your instincts take over, you pounce on the unsuspecting doctor, plunging your fangs into his aorta.
Jesus Christ, kid.
The precious liquid tastes sickeningly sweet, making you feel a bit lightheaded. It appears the good doctor has been getting high on his own supply. Oh no, I'm gonna be buzzed!
Nice.
Takes you a moment to get your fill, but when you're finally done, you immediately feel D'Angelo's eyes upon you. You start coming up with an excuse, but he just smirks.
You're a quick kid. I'll give you that. Beat me to it by a pube.
What? Gross. Let's make this guy edgy.
Well, I just like that we made the right decision and we made him proud.
Now, come on. Let's get out of here.
Do you want to share? Like, you can have some too. I didn't kill him.
Clean up your mess. Time to pay our dear Primogen another visit.
All right, he lives in the rich neighborhood. He must be loaded.
So quiet here.
Robert Larson's home looks about the same as last time. No added security, no angry dogs prowling the yard. It appears that the thin-blood Primogen would rather risk another visit from his old pal D'Angelo than arouse suspicion of his family and neighbors. Which is good, considering that's what he's about to get. Sure enough, the light in Larson's study is on, and you even catch a glimpse of the man himself shuffling around the room. You look over to D'Angelo, wondering how you're going to get Larson's attention this time. Can't we just text him?
Cell phones are not allowed.
Why? Without a single word, D'Angelo walks over to a nearby street lamp and leans against it, making sure he's visible to any and all who happen to look. Looks like the time for subtlety is over. It only takes a couple minutes for Larson to take notice. You see him lean against the window and storm out of the room. In mere seconds, he's out front in D'Angelo's face.
Listen to me, you moldy fuck. I've had just about enough of your shit. You wanna pester me? Fine, but leave my family out of it.
For a moment, D'Angelo just stands there motionless, allowing Larson to get his frustrations out. Suddenly, he grabs a thin blood by the collar, lifts him off the ground, and smashes his back against a lamppost.
Are you finished? All right, now, you listen to me and you listen good. You think I'm enjoying this? Do you think I like to be jerked around? You think I got nothing better to do than hang around this little puppet theater you made for yourself? Now, either you give me a lead I can follow, or I'll start remembering things you'd rather forget.
For the first time since you met him, Larson looks speechless, his eyes wide with fear. He can only mutter under his breath.
You wouldn't dare. Try me.
Cue awkward silence. You stand there, shifting your eyes from one vampire to the other. Guess it's time to either press the advantage or play the good cop. Maybe good cop would be negotiatey. Yeah,
I know, but I also don't want him to think that you're literally like trying to like.
No, he knows the deal.
You're supposed to be like, oh, my friend here is angry. Look, just tell him what he wants to know.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Take it easy, D'Angelo. Let's not make a scene.
Why not? I like making a scene. It's not like we're getting shit done. Might as well make a show out of it. If you want my help, put me the fuck down.
With his feet back on the ground, Larson straightens his collar in a faint attempt at preserving some shred of dignity.
There's a place in Manhattan, Lower East Side, one of the few places in the city where my people can find shelter. Yeah, I know it. If you go there right now, you might find what you're looking for.
D'Angelo stares at him for a moment, just long enough to make it uncomfortable.
You better.
Finally, D'Angelo loosens his grip. You both watch Larson limp back to his house, looking back over his shoulder like he's gonna tell the teacher on you.
Well, I gotta go inside, but I'll be back.
You look to your partner, meaning to ask what that whole things you'd rather forget deal was. As if sensing your curiosity, D'Angelo cuts in with a preemptive mutter.
Come on, we got what we came for.
As you reach the address Larson gave you, you find yourself standing in front of what looks like an old garage. On the outside, the place looks as uninteresting as it gets. You'd think it's abandoned, if not for the few barely working lights illuminating its shabby facade. Once you're inside, however, if ever there was a place worthy of being called a wretched hive of scum and villainy, this is probably it.
Ooh, there's like people walking around back there. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Oh, wow, animated background.
What? Usually it's just lights dancing around.
The room is littered with drunks and crackheads, human and thin blood alike, their minds lost in their cruel little worlds, their bodies splayed out across the floor. D'Angelo leans over and whispers in your ear.
I'll cover the back door. You stay near the front. Let's look around and see what we could find.
Before you can ask what exactly you're supposed to be looking for, D'Angelo disappears into the shadows. Doing your best to blend in with the crowd, which is fairly difficult considering your upright position.
You get down and start rolling around on the floor.
You slowly make your way across the large room.
Slithering.
It's like a modern equivalent of an opium den.
Or just a regular old crack house. They still have those.
I don't know. I read a lot of Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock Holmes?
Not really knowing what you're looking for, you focus on the details. A knowing smirk, a hateful stare, anything that looks even the slightest bit suspicious. After a dozen or so empty stares, you're almost ready to give up when suddenly something catches your eye.
Literally. Ow.
A young, skinny woman, hunched in the corner of the room. She gives you a bewildered look, a 1,000-yard stare that tells you, beyond a shadow of a doubt, it's her. What's her?
Her who?
Her who?
The killer her? Her? Is that who? Is that who? Who her?
I feel like we missed a beat here.
I know. It feels like we skipped a chapter.
As you walk towards her, D'Angelo emerges from the shadows right next to you.
Nice catch.
He kneels down beside her. You can tell he's trying to sound as comforting as possible, but with his gravelly temper, it's not really working out.
Hey, it's okay. We're not here to hurt you. We just want to talk.
No, don't talk. Too loud. Too loud. She seems halfway out of it. It's like the lights are on, but whoever's inside is stumbling around after one hell of a bender.
All right. You like quiet? Got it. Can you tell me your name?
Sana? That's what he called me? Suddenly you hear the door swing open behind you. Even though the night is fairly warm, a cold chill runs down your spine. You look toward the entrance. There's a woman standing there, and something about her just screams kindred. So does that mean I can't tell if someone's a vampire?
I think they have a vampire look about them. Sort of a vague, regal presence, I suppose. And fangs.
But I thought the whole, I worried about going to the ER because they would recognize that I was dead. Can't I recognize that other people are dead like the ER doctors can?
Maybe? I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what the giveaway is, because most of these people they blend in with humans just fine. That's the whole point.
But you think we would be able to tell our own kind, right? Even though she seems comically overdressed for the situation, somehow you don't feel like cracking a smile. Whoever she is, you can tell she means business. She starts making her way to the back of the room, not making any effort to sidestep any of the junkies and junks. They all know well enough to get out of her way.
Imagine like this junkie parting of the Red Sea.
Yeah, exactly.
Happening.
The junkies parted for her on the third day. Acting out of bravery or sheer stupidity, you walk up to her. She looks at you as if you were something she just scraped off her shoe. You smile nervously without even knowing it. Ooh, I want to flirt with her. As soon as you open your mouth, her hand shoots out, grabbing you by the throat. Aw, I didn't even get to flirt. The woman looks at you, tilting her head as if examining a curious species of insect. Suddenly, her eyes shift as she notices something behind you. Her face turns from disgusted curiosity to sheer annoyance. You.
Hey, Val, that's my assistant you got there. You mind?
She rolls her eyes. You feel the grip on your neck loosen and you awkwardly fall to your feet. She makes her way towards D'Angelo, pushing you aside like a rag doll. Where is she?
You're gonna have to be a bit more specific, darling.
Don't play coy, Ginny. The manslayer. I know she's here. A blood hunt has begun. By order of the prince herself, the girl is to meet her final death.
Now hold your horses, honey. I'm conducting an investigation under the auspices of the sheriff. That counts for something, too.
Look, sweetie. I'm not here for some... What?
It's the feminine version, I suppose.
Look, sweetie. I'm not here for some clit measuring contest. You want this to get ugly, be my guest. Otherwise, I suggest you step aside and let me do my job.
By all means.
He steps aside in a comically exaggerated fashion. Look at the corner where you last saw Sana, but find no trace of the girl.
Well, I'll be. I could swear she was just here.
Valerie, wait, I know her name is Valerie. He just called her Val.
Well, I guess you can just sort of assume Val is Valerie.
She could have like a weird old-fashioned name like Valerium or something. Valerina, I don't know.
Valerie.
What?
Valerie.
I don't get this reference.
It's the, never mind. They get it. Raise your hand out there if you get it. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Valerie looks back at D'Angelo. She smiles softly, but you can tell she's trying very hard not to rip his head off. You'll regret this.
Story of my life.
Without another word, she turns on her heel and storms out. D'Angelo waves his hand in your general direction.
Come on, kid. Let's get out of this shithole.
As you emerge from said shithole, you feel the cool night breeze caress your face. It's soothing and almost makes you forget how shitty the last few hours have been. Almost. I mean, they weren't that shitty, were they? I ate a guy. That was cool.
Yeah, that was nice.
I got high.
You got high on a doctor.
Yeah.
All right, kid. I know you've got questions, but it's getting early, and I don't feel like having a Q&A sesh right now, okay? For now, you get one question. Make it count. I'm personally more curious about Valerie than the girl.
Me too. But I feel like we should do a good job.
You got one question. Make it count. What do you want to know?
I guess what the plan is. Our perp's gone, and now we're on some psycho chick shit list. What the hell do we do now?
Well, the good news is we know who we're looking for. The bad news, Valerie knows as well. She's a scourge.
He's answering all the questions anyway.
Part enforcer, part assassin. All around pain in the ass. We'll be seeing more of her, you can bet on that.
Scourge, noun, part enforcer, part assassin. All around pain in the ass. An executor subordinated directly to the prince.
Executor.
An executor subordinated directly to the prince. So
subordinated. Executor.
An executor subordinated directly to the prince.
Prince.
Okay.
Sorry.
An executor subordinated directly to the prince.
That's perfect. No, applause. Applause all around.
Could have cut all that out.
Oh, that was my one time to shine, and I blew it. Before you ask, yes, we've run into each other in the past. No, I don't feel like talking about it.
So how's she different from the sheriffs and, like, stuff?
I guess she's got kind of, like, license to kill, I guess.
Are you sure it's executor, not executor?
It looked like executor to me.
Executor.
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 But wasn't...
Let's call the whole thing off.
Wasn't Sharif her executor?
No, I'm pretty sure executor is spelled... No, it's executioner, not exec... I know I can't even say it. Executive assistant.
You're exactly right.
Yes. Yay. Good, I'm glad we could put all this behind us now. All right, kid. I don't know about you, but I'm turning in. I'll figure some stuff out and keep looking out for our girl, and feel free to swing by the office in a night or two.
And with that, he stumbles off into the distance, not even bothering to keep to the shadows. Can't say you blame him. It really has been a rough night. But has it really?
Has it really, though? Stumbled over a couple of crackheads.
Oh, well, I guess I gotta rest. You're walking down the street towards your haven. In some other town, the sidewalks will be deserted this time of night. In NYC, there are plenty of passers-by going about their business. It's easy to be paranoid when you're a vampire surrounded by a crowd of humans. The kindred have many enemies, and all those enemies have one trait in common. They're invisible, indistinguishable from normal humanity. Other vampires, hunters, all look like people, except Nosferatu.
Soylent Green is people.
Is that old man just a tired restaurant worker or a kindred thrall trailing your movements?
Is the vampire's job to be this paranoid?
Are the officers idly waiting in the patrol call ordinary cops or Second Inquisition specialists looking to end undead threats?
Second Inquisition. No.
Often abbreviated as the SI, collective name among vampires for the recent coordinated efforts of intelligence agencies to combat the kindred as if they were a terrorist threat. Well, good for them. Good for them.
By the way, a person or institution appointed by a testator to carry out the terms of a contract. So
why is that different than the sheriff, though? Because
maybe the sheriff was sort of like the head executor, maybe? And then, like, she's basically like a contract killer that they send out. It's like, go solve this problem. It's like, she's like, yes.
So she's an executor who's also an executioner.
Yes. That makes perfect sense. Why didn't you say that at the beginning? We could have saved ourselves a long talk.
This kind of thinking leads to madness, but you can't shake the feeling that someone is watching you. It's not the first time you felt like this. Whatever this is probably something you have to take care of. Best case, someone is tailing you. Worst case, you'll be attacked and killed. Unfortunately,
I like those odds.
Being undead has its limitations. The sun is coming up soon, and you'll burn to a crisp if you stay on the streets. Reach your haven and settle in for the day, disconcerted by the idea that someone might know where you sleep.
Yeah.
All right. We have rested. We have had a day.
You had a night. We had a day, but we slept through it.
Yes. So, next up, I think our options are going to be to go back to the Gangrel.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe find that creepy limo guy again?
That seems to be kind of like a side quest. I'm sure it'll just pop up eventually.
Yeah, but if it does pop up, do we want to do it? That's a question. Finding the Gangrel. Do we go back to the Gangrel lady next? I think that seems to be the next move.
I would assume Gangrel, yes.
And then we'll come back to this Nosferatu guy also. And from what you all have explained to me, I shouldn't go to the Malkavian or the Tremere at all because the game does not give me enough time to pursue more than 2 of the spots on the map.
Yeah, that sounds like yes.
Okay.
Sounds like yes.
If you disagree with the yes, tell us in the comments.
Say no if you say yes.
If there's anything else you think we should do, tell us. If you have any thoughts or feelings, tell us. It's what is today? The 21st of January. Yesterday was Inauguration Day.
Was.
How do you feel?
I should feel more relieved than I am, but I'm not quite yet. But I'm almost there.
It's like you keep waking up and being like, they're gonna take it away from us again, aren't they?
Well, it's like, well, I'm still kind of getting used to how quiet Twitter is now, and I can like tweet things about games and my coffee mug and things, and not, be filled with overwhelming existential dread, which is, again, just takes some getting used to.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Thank you for joining us for Vampire the Masquerade playthrough, Coteries of New York.
Bloodlines, New York City, Coteries, Executioners, Executor.
Do you know this game has a sequel?
I keep seeing in Steam that there's like 18 different versions of Coteries in different cities or different...
No, I think it's like Shadows of New York or something. It's like, isn't it? It's New York style, so...
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. But anyway, when we finish this game, we're supposed to play the sequel.
Are we?
Aren't we?
Aren't we?
I like this visual novel style of game. I love this. It's much more my speed than the fighting game we were playing last time. Though that was more exciting. I got very excited.
You got good at it with your hitting things with a fire axe.
Yeah, I was like the melee queen.
Yeah. Besides, I was like, what else are we going to do? Because Bloodlines 3 is still like eons away. So I saw an article that just popped up on like my newsfeed or something. It's like, here's a whole bunch of vampire games you can play until Bloodlines 3 comes out.
2. Bloodlines 2.
2, yes. Why do they keep saying 3?
I don't know.
Man,
what were those vampire games, Paul?
I don't know. I didn't read the article.
Was one of them Vampire? With the
probably. It's probably games that we've all heard before. It's probably Coteries is on that list too.
Probably. This sideways traffic light is really bugging me.
We should stop staring at it. It's time for bed.
Anyway, thank you for joining us. Until next time.
Making that my ringtone.
Good night.
Executor.